Hello, and you're probably wondering why am I starting off? Why are we looking at these two guys here? Well, first of all, you should know, obviously, the guy is on the right. Governor Andrew Cuomo, governor of New York State. And one of the worst governors New York State has ever had. And who's this guy? This guy is Gerald Rosengarten, a developer. And what do these two guys have in common? Well, Andrew Cuomo decided to veto a bill. He recently vetoed a bill that would have added to the Pine Barrens protection area on Long Island. And one of the pieces of property that would have been included in this plan is owned by this guy on the left, Gerald Rosengarten, a developer, and a very wealthy one at that. And Cuomo vetoed it, despite the fact that this bill was passed with almost unanimous support, passed the New York legislature with unanimous support. Cuomo said, fuck the people. He said, screw the people. He gave us all a big middle finger and said, I'm vetoing it. And so he vetoed it. And now, because of his veto, here we go, a couple months later, and Rosengarten is knocking down trees. He's already knocked down 20 acres of trees in this site in Mastic, 20 acres of Pine Barrens. And so now I'm going to read to you the article from Newsday about this latest development. The head of the Long Island Pine Barrens Society called for the resignation of the director of the Pine Barrens Commission as the start of tree clearing for a Mastic solar farm highlighted a divide among environmentalists. After 3 days of court battles, developer Gerald Rosengarten of the Middle Island Solar Farm resumed clear-cutting trees on Monday for the first 20-acre phase of development that calls for 60 acres of clearing. Rosengarten, who in another career popularized the leisure suit, has called solar the least impactful use of the land, which is zoned light industrial and could be cleared for warehouses. But Dick Amper, executive director of the Long Island Pine Barrens Society and a party to a lawsuit seeking to block the plan, called clear-cutting of any type a deliberate frontal attack on the environment. In his statement, Amper called for the resignation of Pine Barrens Commission executive director John Pavicic for promising to provide the governor's staff with siting alternatives for the solar farm and then reneging on that promise. Tim Motz, a spokesman for the Pine Barrens Commission, said it would have been irresponsible for Pavicic to take any significant action on the Mastic case without direction by the Commission, since the site is not within the central Pine Barrens. Motz said that Pavicic acted properly in this case and has the full support of the Commission's members. Amper also criticized Adrienne Esposito, executive director of the Citizens Campaign for the Environment, for her role in lobbying Governor Andrew M. Cuomo to veto legislation that would have preserved the Mastic property as part of the core Pine Barrens, along with 800 acres in Shoreham that had been slated for a solar farm. The bill passed the state legislature with a large majority, but Cuomo vetoed it in December. Amper said Esposito and another environmentalists gave Cuomo bad advice by promoting veto of a bill to save the Pine Barrens. They are not environmentalists, Amper said in an interview. You can no longer present yourself as an environmentalist, having been responsible for this. Esposito acknowledged urging Cuomo to veto the preservation bill, but she said she supports preserving the Shoreham property now that the proposal is under consideration as part of Cuomo's budget bill. We need to do both, save land and trees and site solar farms, she said. I refuse to pit the two against each other. Amper also criticized Esposito's group for accepting contributions from another company that proposed a solar farm in Shoreham. Esposito, who issued a letter in support of the Shoreham solar farm by NextEra and National Grid when it was announced in 2016, acknowledged receiving a donation of between $3,800 and $5,000 from NextEra for her annual gala, but said it didn't influence her support. Oh, yeah, right. I gotta laugh about that. Oh, my God. We supported solar when the option for land preservation wasn't available, she said. The donation means nothing. Esposito also stressed that she never received money from Rosengarten. So here we go, looking over the Pine Barrens area on Long Island. And much of the Pine Barrens has already been lost to development. We have lost a lot of our Pine Barrens already to development. You'd think people on Long Island, and especially the government officials, would get it through their head that, all right, we've lost enough, we've lost so much. Why are we continuing to destroy this environment? Well, here, let me show you the spot that is involved. Now, if you look at the map, you see where my mouse is. You see this area right here, all right, east of Brookhaven Airport. Well, this is the area that is involved in this. And I'm trying to zoom in here to get it to show you the area that is involved. All right, so this is the area that's involved. And this Rosengarten guy owns this piece of property. He may own this piece of property, too. I'm not sure. But I know he owns this piece of property here. So most of this is going to be knocked down for a solar farm. All right, so we're looking at the image right here, and most of this is going to be knocked down. And maybe even this spot, it looks like a nice little desert in there. Oh, look at this, though. Interesting. We have a little southern pine beetle outbreak here. Long Island is getting hammered with southern pine beetles, and this is because the Pine Barrens have become so fragmented, and so, yeah, so there's southern pine beetles on this site. Okay. Yeah, I wonder if he put them there. Yeah, you can see some pines that are dying off. But anyway, this is the area here that is involved in this development. South of Mauritius Middle Island Road and north of the Sunrise Highway over here. And what's going on here is this area is being clear-cut, about 80 acres of it. The first 20 acres have already been clear-cut. You look at the Pine Barren Society's video. They actually, I think they took a drone and they took a video over it. And it's heartbreaking to see. And we'll just take a look and see what it looks like from the road here, and you're down here. All right, so here we go. So this is the site here, and all this is getting clear cut as we speak. There was an injunction order, but as you read in Newsday, the judge lifted that injunction order, and now they're clearing the land once again. And this side, who knows? This side I think is owned by Rosengarten too, so he could try to knock that down as well, because I noticed that it says posted private property, so it could be owned by, I mean, this is all Pine Barrens over here. How could you think of knocking this down is beyond me. He's like, well, it's not in the Pine Barrens. Well, this is the problem. The Long Island Pine Barrens Act was too weak to begin with. It was never strong enough to really protect enough of the woods. Compared to New Jersey's Pine Barrens, not enough of it was protected. So let's go out here. And again, so people say, oh, it's just 80 acres. What's the big deal? They just keep chopping away and chopping away and chopping away. And what's going on is the Pine Barrens now are so segmented, and they're so small areas. These literally small areas. You look at, yeah, this is New Jersey, all right? Let's see if I can compare it to, yeah, this is Long Island, all right? Let me see if I can compare it to New Jersey's Pine Barrens. All right, that's Long Island's Pine Barrens. Here's New Jersey's Pine Barrens. All right, it takes up the whole screen, all right, from edge to edge. All right, look at how much more they protected. Look at how much more they protected, and they go all the way down here, too. So they've protected a lot more of their Pine Barrens. And as a result of that, they've been able to have a healthy fire cycle. Fire is necessary for the survival of pitch pines, all right? And they have controlled burns, and their forest is healthy. Whereas our Pine Barrens is under attack because you have to understand something. The Pine Barrens used to go, look at the screen here, the Pine Barrens used to go from all the way over here to all the way over here, almost to like Melville. But look at all the development that's happened over the past 20, 30, 40 years. Much of the Pine Barrens has been lost, and very little remains. And because it's so fragmented and so small, you can't have those big fires. They're put out right away to protect all the developments, of course, therefore the pines need the fire to survive. And without the fires that are, naturally, they used to be started by lightning, they used to be started, maybe by trains and stuff like that way back, and maybe even the Indians who used to inhabit Long Island, the Native Americans. But now, without this proper fire cycle, what's going on is the forest is becoming overgrown. There's a lot of oaks that are trying to shade out the pines, and the pines, because they're so crowded in that they're weakened, and so they're more susceptible to southern pine beetles. Even though Long Island is a lot cooler, it's a lot cooler in Long Island than it is in New Jersey, yet Long Island's Pine Barrens are getting decimated by these beetles while New Jersey's doing okay, even though it's warmer there. Why do you think that is? It's because we have not preserved enough, and now we really stand the risk of losing the entire Pine Barrens. Yes, we keep piecing away at it. All right. Let's look at a map of Long Island and show you all the. Let me show you all the developments that are planned in or around the Pine Barrens. Okay, so I'm showing you a map of Long Island, and I just want to show you how this affects the entire ecosystem, all this development. So I show you the map, and I'm going to do a little drawing, and hopefully it will look okay. This solar farm, all right, is going to be over here in this spot, all right. All right, so that's one more area of Pine Barrens gone. All right, then we have the East Quogue development right over here. All right, that's another area of Pine Barrens gone. All right, and then we have the development that's already happened in Riverhead, which used to be. I'm not going to make a circle here, but we've lost a lot of Pine Barrens in Riverhead as well. And then we have EPCAL, which is over here. So again, we could lose some Pine Barrens over here too. Maybe a little over here and a little over here. All right. All right, so there's more Pine Barrens gone. All right, and then we have we work our way further west, and we look at this spot right here, which the Holbrook, whatever they want to call that, Islip Pines, Holtzville Pines, or whatever. They're naming it after what they destroy. That's the disgusting part of it. So this all adds up. This all adds up. All right, and that doesn't even take into account this too. This development right here, Pilgrim. So they just want to destroy the entire Pine Barrens of Long Island. And really, what we're fighting for, what I'm fighting for, is the main reason I choose to stay on Long Island. If we do lose the Pine Barrens and they die off, then there will be no reason for me to stay on Long Island. And it will be just another victory for these young urban professionals and these urban professionals that keep coming out here trying to citify Long Island and turn it into the city. Not only are they trying to price us out, they're also trying to knock down all the trees because they don't want nature. They just want to extend the city out here. You understand? So these are just some of the developments. There's others. I'm sure there's others in the works. You know, it just never ends. We have to put our foot down and say, no more development. It has to stop. We need a moratorium on the development of natural lands on Long Island. That is a law that should be passed. If Cuomo in New York State doesn't want to pass it, then I think Suffolk County should pass it. All right, because this Suffolk County is where, you know, most of the undeveloped land is left. And I think the Suffolk County government needs to come and pass a moratorium against any more development in the county. These developers, I'm sorry, they're scum. All they care about is money. That's all they care about, is making money at the expense of the destruction of our environment. All right? Take a look at Long Island. Now, let me explain something to you for a minute here, all right? Even if you don't go to the Pine Barrens, even if you don't hike in the Pine Barrens, even if you cannot even appreciate the beauty of the Pine Barrens, even if you cannot do that, Long Island, we don't get our water from reservoirs, all right? Let me explain something to you. We get our water from underground. So when all this crap was built and there's no sewers here, guess where it winds up? In our drinking water, and the aquifer is right here. So this used to be the cleanest water in the state. It's not anymore because of all the development, all right? And then all the fertilizers and all the crap from all the development winds up running off into the bays. And then we have red tides and water pollution and fish die-offs and crap. Runs off into the Peconic Bay too over here. All right? So this is what the development is doing to Long Island. And Long Island's economy was the environment. We destroy the environment on Long Island. Long Island is just going to be part of New York City. Except we're going to be part of New York City, but without a good public transportation system. So, in fact, we're worse than New York City. At least New York City has good public transportation to get around. All right? But Long Island will have nothing going for it. All right? So this is why we need to put a moratorium on development. And Mr. Rosengarten, he already destroyed 20 acres of trees. I think Mr. Rosengarten should be arrested, put in jail for this. He's like, whoa, it's my own land. I could do what I want. What you did on your land affects everybody on this island. All right? Everybody. Because, you know what, even if you don't go to the Pine Barrens, your drinking water is polluted. All right? What are you going to do? You're going to have to buy bottled water all the time. I already buy bottled water. All right? This is horrible what we're doing. Horrible what we're doing to the environment. It has to stop. All right? And we must continue to talk about it. This has always been the main mission of this channel here on YouTube, is to make people aware of what we are doing to our environment, especially the Pine Barrens. The development, the destruction, the trees getting knocked down. It has to stop, because if it doesn't stop, Long Island will not be a place worth living on anymore. It will not be a place worth living on anymore. And I'll probably have to move to New Jersey, because that's the nearest Pine Barrens to here. I don't want to leave Long Island. It's my home. I love it. I don't want to move, but if the Pine Barrens are gone, there's no reason for me to stay here. And there's no reason for anyone to stay here, because the drinking water will be polluted, the waters at the beaches will be polluted, everything will be polluted. It'll be a toxic wasteland because of these fucking developers. It has to stop. No more development.